Hello, hello. My name is CJ, and welcome back to this series on how to use TinyWars. So last video we left off on signing up for ranked games. So now we will explore some of the other game modes that are here. So first is just the normal mode. This is where you can create games and join other people's games. So if you look through join games, you can see where other people have made lobbies. They're trying to play some games, and you can join these at any time if you want to. And basically, you join, you choose your CO, you choose your color, and then ready up. That's it. Alternatively, you can be on the other side, which is creating rooms. You can choose from a variety of maps. There's actually a lot in here. They vary. A lot of them are going to be 1v1s, but there's some that are interesting, or rather, I guess different. Like this one's a 3v1. This one is 1v1 as normal. I think the first map we saw was a 8-player map, so you got that there. You have 1.5 bases. That one's different, right? So, all kinds of stuff here. You would just be able to choose the map you want, click next, and you can change the settings. So, game name, you basically change the name of the lobby. You can put a password if you're trying to play with a specific friend and you want to give them the password. Comment does something. Basically just put a comment on the game. You can choose between rules. Some maps will have set rule sets, but the main one that's common to basically any map is going to be standard or fog, which is just changing that. But you can also make a custom rule, like changing the weather to one of the other options. Also, if you click on these question marks, they'll tell you a lot more about what's going on here. But I don't really have time to cover all of that. There's a lot of information, but just so you know, if you want to know more, click these. You got tile themes to change the layout of what it looks like, all that kind of stuff. War events is going to be its entire different video. That's complex. You can change the max number of turns and actions. This is mainly just to make sure you don't time out, or rather, to make sure a game doesn't stalemate and go so long. You should never hit this max, but you can always change that to as low as 20 turns. And if it goes to the turn limit, then it'll just consider the game a draw. You can change the timer mode. As we discussed before, a regular 3-day timer is default. So when I say before, I mean like when we did ranked. Looking at ranked matchmaking, 3 days is the default. So every turn, when it's the start of your turn, you get 3 days. So even if you run down the time to say an hour, once it's your turn again, or say you run down the time to an hour, and you end your turn, and then once it comes back to your turn again, you'll get 3 days. That's regular timer mode, but you also have incremental. This is mainly for if you're doing a live game. This layout says, and again, check the question marks if you want to know more, but this layout says 10-minute initial time for both players, and then 5 seconds additional time per unit that you own, and then a 30-second time increment base for each turn. So even if you had, say, no units, you would still get 30 seconds per turn. If you had 10 units, then you would get 50 seconds plus 30 seconds per turn. And if you time out, either in regular mode or in incremental, if your timer runs out If you have moved any units on your turn, then it will auto end your turn. However, if you haven't moved any of your units at all, if you have not acted, and the time runs out, then you will auto surrender. So be aware of what time controls you are using. And in a live game, you might do those incremental times, in which case you're gonna want to pay attention to that, because it's basically like playing timed chess, if you're familiar with that at all. We have advanced settings where we're able to choose different teams. That comes into play in like larger maps, like 3-player and 4-player maps. You can change the teams that people are on. You can choose ban COs for different players. This is all about just the different CO mechanics. You can ban specific units. Say you don't think battleships should be used on this map. You can ban those. Initial funds, you can change how much people start with. Income multiplier, you can change how much people get per property, because the default is 1,000 funds per property, but sometimes you might see an income multiplier of like 1.5 or 2 times for high funds. So that's another advanced setting. Energy gain, energy loss, these are all a little bit more complex. You're probably not going to see those very often. But if you really want me to explain that kind of stuff, let me know. I can make a video on those. But yeah, most of these things are going to stay as default. I mean, that's kind of why they're advanced settings. But yeah, and then you have map info. You can preview the map, see what it looks like. See the number of factories, cities, airports, temporary airports, ports, temporary ports, comm towers, and radars, whether or not it's Fog of War, who made this map, how many people have played it before, 23, what people have rated it, etc. There's a lot of information on this, but you would just make a room, and if you go to my rooms, then you can kind of also see all of this information, and change it if you would like. But I'm gonna delete this room because I don't really want to make a room right now. So that's normal mode. Next up is match mode. So match mode is very, very similar to ranked mode that we covered before, except basically these are just unranked matches. So you can, again, set the number of games, choose your bans. It's using the same map rotation. Choose your standard bans, choose your fog bans, set your game timer. If you have any rooms, they're going to be showing up there. And continue wars if you start a game and then you come back to it, and also you can preview the map rotation again. That's match mode. Next is co-op mode, which people don't tend to do very much of, but I think there might be. Oh, there are none. Okay, never mind. You'll see up here it says normal mode. This one says free mode, so there's none that are co-op right now, but you could create a co-op game, and these are going to be all more than one player. So as you can see, like this one, for example, it's red, yellow, and blue, I assume, versus green. But yeah, these are, more so just, you can open up a room and see if people join. But yeah, it's not as common. And that's usually co-op versus AI, although I think you can probably do co-op versus a person. I wouldn't be surprised if you could do co-op versus a person. But don't quote me on that too, because I'm not entirely sure. Free mode is like standard multiplayer, except you create rooms from the map editor. Basically, the idea is anyone can make a map, and free mode is how you test the map. I will go into map editor in a different video, but for now that's what the free mode is, and that's also why you can, if you join, you can see someone has a free mode map open, a free mode game open. It's because they designed this map, and are looking to test it. Next and finally is regular tournament. So tournament is every once in a while we will host a tournament and you can register for it. There are no tournaments registering right now, but you'll see a notification in the Discord. We'll make an announcement in the Discord if you join that whenever a tournament is starting or whenever registration is open. But basically, if you have played at least one ranked match, then you can register for the tournament. And you can also see previous games in tournaments that are going on right now. We have tournament number 1 that's almost done. I believe they're on the last game, or second to last game, I think. Oh wait, no, maybe it is the last game. Wait, no, it's no. Second, yeah, second to last game. I don't know. Tournament number 1 is finishing soon, and you can actually watch all of those games. Tournament 2 is in the middle right now, and you can see all the matchups and watch the replays there. Yeah, so registration will be occasionally. And then you can also see the map rotation for the tournament. Tournament basically goes, if you like, round 1 was played on Relegate, round 2 onto Boost, round 3 on Burst, round 4 on Caustic Finale, and so on and so forth. So be sure to check those out because it is some of our regular community events, so the tournaments. So that is the multiplayer modes, and I briefly went over single player before, but again, if you're first starting out, if you're new to Days of Ruin, especially, there's campaigns. People can make stories, and so that's basically what this is. I did this first mission, and then you can go to the next mission and just learn different things. So that's the campaign, and then there's also War Room, which are like challenges, and there's also a leaderboard. So if you beat the challenge faster, you'll get a higher score. So yeah, these are all of your just single player versus AI stuff to try to like test out your understanding of the game and how you can play. It is worth noting that the AI is not the same as in the original cartridge, as it was not able to be replicated, but it is a decent AI. So yeah, and then also these games have difficulties, so it changes. Some of these war rooms can be quite difficult. So that is... Oh, and then also custom mode is kind of, you can just make versus AI games if you want. So that is the basics of just, getting into all sorts of games, using all of the different game modes. And next video, we'll be talking about spectating and replays, and just other general information that is available on the site. So with that, I will see you all next time.